Hi everybody, I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to talk about the modern metagame and how it's shaping up as time has gone on with all of the weird decks that have started popping up in modern. Now this is data taken from top 32s and challenges, 4-0s and 3-1s in prelims, and league data, mostly 5-0s in leagues. So technically this is a winner's metagame, but I do think it is still reflective of the decks that you will end up playing against Magic Online. And really in paper, because that's the decks people look at. So let's jump right into the modern metagame. At the very top, at 23.8% of the meta, which is an obscene amount of the meta, is Red Black Scam, also known as Red Black Midrange if you're on MTG Goldfish, or Red Black Evoke if you are Coverage, followed by 4-color Omnath, and then a tie in third between Domain Zoo and Yawgmoth, but there's an asterisk I need to put by Domain Zoo, and I'll talk about why. So the very top, Red Black Scam, is a deck that tries to scam your opponent out of the game. The best way they do that is going turn 1 Grief, taking a card out of your hand, using an Undying effect on it, it comes back, take a card out of your hand, and now I have a 4-3 Menace. The second best way is doing the same thing but with Fury, so they don't take cards out of your hand, but they have a 4-4 Double Striker, or just playing turn 1 Regavan, which effectively has Death Touch to players. Other cards like Dothy Voidwalker, Blood Moon, Orish Bow Masters kind of capitalize on just like feeling like you're being scammed, right, out of the game. This card is totally dominating Modern without a lot of bad matchups at all, and is currently the deck to beat, period. The second most popular deck is 4-color Omnath. 4-color Omnath is sort of the premier mid-range deck, or maybe even control deck you might call it, of the format. It capitalizes on Evoke Elementals and Omnath and the One Ring and Up the Beanstalk and just draws a ridiculous amount of cards, removes what your opponent is doing, and just plays overpowered planeswalkers and creatures. Yawgmoth got a lot more powerful with the release of Orish Bow Masters, but effectively this is a black-green creature deck that is totally content attacking, but has quite a few infinite combos on the back of Yawgmoth and can tutor out the Planeswalker Grist or pieces of the combo with Court of Calling, and some even play Eldritch Evolution. And I'm going to put an asterisk by Domain Zoo because this category is both the Scam Zoo and normal Domain Zoo. And so if you count that, even more should be added to Red Black Scam, frankly. But Domain Zoo is like other Zoo decks. They play the best creatures in the format, at least the most aggressive creatures in the format: Wild Nacatl, Ragavan, Nishoba Brawler, Orish Bow Masters, Territorial Kavu, Scion or Drago. The normal Zoo deck tops it off with Tribal Flames, dealing 5 damage to their opponent because they have Domain. The Scam Zoo deck, instead of playing the Tribal Flames package, or a lot of the creatures, plays Territorial Kavu, Scion of Draco, and then Fury and Grief and a bunch of nasty stuff like that. Both of them under the category of Domain Zoo, but playing creatures and attacking seems pretty powerful in this format right now. Now, there are 4 premier events this past weekend. Of the 4, let's look at the top 8 metagame. And at least it's a little bit more diverse than the overall metagame. This time with Yawgmoth at the top with 20% of the meta, Red Black Scam nearing the top, doing a little bit of a drop off from its original look with 16.7 of the meta, and then crashing Footfalls, also known as Rhinos, at 10% of the meta. We've already talked about Yawgmoth and Scam, so let's talk about Rhinos. Rhinos is one of the 2 good Cascade decks in the format. It plays Violent Outburst and Shardless Agent in order to cascade through their deck to hit Crashing Footfalls, which has no mana cost and is the only card that costs less than 3. To have 2 4/4 Rhinos with Trample on the battlefield as early as turn 3 on the back of being a decent mid-range and control deck. That is the modern metagame. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and let me know what you thought in the comments. Thank you to patrons on Patreon. If you're interested in having access to text sideboard guides, early access to videos, and a bunch more stuff, you should check out Patreon. Links to that and other social medias are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.